Hey guys, tonight we're diving into a story that feels like it was stitched together from your worst dreams, a few tabloid headlines, and that one episode of a medical drama you couldn't finish. You're in the bathroom. It's barely 7 a.m. Your fingers shake as you hold a pregnancy test under the dim overhead light. One pink line appears instantly. And then, the second one begins to bloom like a secret you've tried too hard to bury. You stare at it for minutes. You take another one just to be sure. Same result. Except there's a tiny, stomach-turning twist. Your husband, the man sleeping in the next room, is sterile. Yeah. You probably won't survive this. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, post your location and what time it is where you're watching. I love knowing where my sleepy crowd's tuning in from. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You trudge back to bed barefoot, test still warm in your hand, like maybe the warmth will make this more believable. The ceiling fan spins slow circles above you, like it knows you're not ready to process any of this. The dog lifts his head, senses your unease, then curls right back up. Must be nice. You think back, has there been a mistake? Faulty test? Expired? But these things are like vending machines, wrong answer, and you've got chaos for change. You dig the box out of the trash. Not expired. Not faint. Not ambiguous. This is happening. The problem is, it shouldn't be. Not unless miracles started going on sale at the grocery store. Your husband, let's call him Mark, got his fertility results last spring. Low motility, low count, 0 chance. You were there, holding his hand in that frozen urologist's office where even the posters looked embarrassed. And here's where it gets messy, you haven't been with anyone else. Or at least, that's what you've told yourself. And isn't it funny how trauma can shove things into corners until the light hits just right? Outside, birds are starting to chirp. Inside, your world is humming with the dissonance of impossible, and now what? You tiptoe to the bathroom again. Not for another test, but to hide the first two. Just in case. You shove them behind a row of tampons and vitamins and toothpaste tubes like shame can be camouflaged by oral hygiene. A quick scroll through your phone offers zero comfort. Forums full of horror stories. Rare medical conditions. Statistical anomalies. Even a link about spontaneous fetal absorption from the 1800s. Historians still argue whether the Victorians mistook this for divine punishment or just bad luck. You toss the phone aside. Mark's alarm goes off. He grunts, rolls over, and silences it with the back of his hand. You stare at his profile. Strong jaw, that little scar from high school lacrosse, the freckle just under his ear. All things you know by heart. And yet suddenly, he feels like a stranger sleeping in your bed. Morning, he mumbles, not opening his eyes. You want to say something. Everything. Instead, you mutter something about needing coffee and disappear downstairs, heart pounding like it's doing a drum solo you didn't sign off on. In the kitchen, you try to pretend the world isn't sideways. The kettle whistles like it's warning you, and the toast burns while you're still trying to remember how breathing works. By the time you manage to pour your coffee and lean against the counter, Mark has come downstairs. Barefoot. Shirtless. And holding something in his hand. It's the test. The second one. He doesn't say a word. Just holds it up like a judge delivering a verdict. Your mouth opens, but nothing comes out. He looks at you with the kind of expression they carve into statues, blank, distant, unreadable. Then, without a single question, he sets the test on the table, grabs his keys, and walks out. Door slams. No note. No goodbye. Not even a dramatic "how could you?" Just silence. The kind of silence that expands and echoes. The kind that reminds you ancient Greek temples were designed to amplify whispers, so maybe, just maybe, your heart cracking in half is someone's idea of sacred architecture. The coffee goes cold. The test stays where he left it. And you, well, you just stand there, trying to figure out whether you're the villain, the victim, or both. Somewhere deep in the back of your mind, a tiny thought starts to creep in. One you'll chase later in section 2. But for now, it's just a whisper. What if this wasn't a mistake? What if this was planned? And not by you? You don't move for what feels like an entire Roman siege. Just stand there, like the burnt toast, frozen in the scent of something that was supposed to nourish but now just stings. The house is dead quiet, save for the faint ticking of the wall clock, which suddenly feels like it's counting down to something you don't understand yet. You pick up the test. It's dry now. A relic. Proof of an event that science insists shouldn't have happened. You think about calling Mark. But what would you even say? Hi, just checking in, still mad? Still convinced I cheated on you even though I didn't? Instead, you sit on the floor, legs stretched out, back against the fridge, and try to do that breathing exercise your therapist once mentioned. 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out. But the moment you close your eyes, a memory slaps you across the face. That night. The night. You'd blocked it. Or maybe rewrapped it in prettier packaging. You remember wine. Not a lot. Just enough to smooth the edges of a long day. Mark had gone to visit his dad, Mr. Ambrose, as he did most Thursday nights. They had this weird tradition, cigars on the balcony and arguments about European colonialism. You never understood it, but hey, father-son bonding. You remember falling asleep early that night, exhausted. And then waking, barely, to someone brushing hair away from your face. You'd assumed it was Mark. You remember the touch. Gentle. Caring. Soothing, almost. But something about the scent, it wasn't Mark's usual cologne. That smoky sandalwood he always overdid. This was different. Earthier. Older. You didn't open your eyes. You just let it happen. That's when the nausea hits. Not from pregnancy hormones, but from the realization that your mind has been playing keep away with this memory. And the worst part? You wanted to believe it was Mark. You needed it to be. A few hours later, your phone vibrates. It's a text. Mark, I need space. I'll stay at a hotel for a while. Please don't contact me. You read it 5 times. A 6th. Then throw the phone onto the couch like it's infected. You feel a scream building in your chest, but nothing comes out. Instead, you curl up and think about the word space. It's what astronomers use when they're really saying, we don't know what's out there. Vast, cold, unknowable. You scroll back in your texts. To Mr. Ambrose. The last message he sent was a blurry meme about golf being a gateway drug. You never responded. Your relationship with your father-in-law has always been odd. Too warm, sometimes. Too attentive. At the wedding, he gave a speech that felt more like a love letter to you than a toast. Guests laughed. You blushed. But afterward, he pulled you aside, looked deep into your eyes, and said, "You're the best thing that's ever happened to this family." You'd smiled, awkwardly, and chalked it up to champagne. But now your skin itches remembering it. That night creeps back again, only this time, it brings back up the touch. The way your nightgown had been slightly misplaced the next morning. The quiet apology whispered into your hair that your brain had filed under dream. You bolt upright. If what you're starting to suspect is even close to real, you need answers. But how do you accuse your husband's father of something like this? You don't. You investigate. First step, timeline. You check Mark's calendar. He keeps everything logged. He's one of those spreadsheet husbands. Thursday, 7 weeks ago. Mark had a dinner reservation with a client. Out of town. He never saw you that night. Your stomach drops like a phone off a rooftop. You try to tell yourself you're imagining things. That the odds of something so unthinkable are infinitesimal. But so were the odds of you getting pregnant. You spend the rest of the day lost in your own head. Every creak of the house makes you jump. You start noticing things that never mattered before, the way the hallway mirror is always slightly tilted, or how Mr. Ambrose never knocks when he visits, he just enters. Historians still argue whether certain ancient cultures understood trauma the way we do now. The Egyptians believed a shock to the soul could unbalance the heart, weighing it down in the afterlife. You're starting to feel that weight already. By evening, you've made a decision. You're going to talk to Mr. Ambrose. Not accuse. Not confront. Just talk. You drive to his estate, hands gripping the wheel like it might float away otherwise. The gate recognizes your license plate and swings open. Too easy. He meets you at the door like he was waiting. Come in, sweetheart, he says, voice low and velvet. You hesitate. Just a beat. Then step inside. The air smells like cedar and aged whiskey. Like secrets and smooth lies. I heard about Mark, he says, gesturing toward the sitting room. Your stomach knots. Your thumb hovers over the screen. For a moment, you wonder, did Mr. Ambrose tell him? Did he confess? Did he twist the story first, like he always does, bending the truth into a shape only he can justify? You type. What did he say? 3 dots appear. Then vanish. Appear again. Then nothing. You stare at the screen, hard hammering. You want to scream at the sky. Shake the trees. Undo the past 10 weeks of your life. But you don't. Instead, you call him. He answers on the first ring. Hey. Mark, you say, voice brittle. Tell me what happened. He exhales. I don't know what to think right now. Your knees buckle, so you sit on the curb outside the clinic, phone pressed tight against your ear. He said you came onto him, Mark continues. That you were confused. That maybe the drugs the doctor gave you after that migraine made you. He stops, voice thick with uncertainty, disgust, and something else, doubt. No, you whisper. Mark, no. I thought it was you. He knew what he was doing. I don't know what to believe. Tears sting your eyes. Do you believe me? Silence. I want to, he says. But it sounds insane. You laugh, a broken, hollow thing. You think I want this to be true? I didn't mean, he sighs. I need time. Your world collapses a little more. Mark, you say, begging, we can do a test. A second one. I'll do anything. I don't want to talk about this on the phone, he says. I'm coming home. He hangs up before you can respond. You sit there for a long time, numb to everything but the sound of wind brushing leaves along the sidewalk. When Mark walks in that evening, his face is pale, drawn. He's not the same man who left for work 3 days ago. His shoulders sag under a weight you both now share. He doesn't say hello. You stand in the living room, facing him like two ghosts in a burned-out house. I need to ask you something, he says quietly. Okay. He swallows. Did he drug you? No, you say. No pills. No drinks. Just the nightlight. Just the shape of you I thought I saw. The warmth. The familiarity. I didn't know, Mark, I didn't know. His jaw tightens. He said he loved you. Your stomach flips. That's not love. I know. His voice breaks. For a moment, the air between you hums with grief and rage and the kind of betrayal that can't be stitched up with apologies. Then he says, I want to kill him. You don't tell him you've imagined it, too. That you've seen it play out in your head more times than you can count, a push down the stairs, a staged accident, a scream in the woods no one hears. Instead, you say, so do I. That night, you both sit at the kitchen table like strangers in a country neither of you chose. There are no plans. No ideas. Just silence. Until Mark says, we need to make sure no one else falls into this. You look up. He's staring into the distance like he's seeing something far beyond the walls of your home. He's done this before, Mark whispers. Not like this, maybe, but he's crossed lines. With secretaries. With interns. I always looked away. You ask, why? I was afraid of what I'd find if I didn't.